Tom was born ready.
A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Obviously, CM Punk has done the unthinkable and returned to WWE. We have started our show approximately 40 minutes early because we are going to catch a live reaction to the beginning of Monday Night Raw, which I can only assume is going to be kicked off by CM Punk with a live microphone.
Randy Orton.
Love him or hate him. Love him or hate him. People pay to see him. And we have a lot to talk about. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our normal thing, and we'll get with you here.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Wow! Did you see that? Did you see the commercial? Oh, it was a cut into the building, and in Nashville, and it said CM Punk makes his long-awaited return to Monday Night Raw, but Randy Orton kicking off the show.
Yeah, I knew Randy was kicking off the show. See, you didn't know that, but I knew.
Nah, I did not. I was not privy.
No, you gotta tune in at 10 o'clock at night for the 9 to 10 crossover to catch some CM Punk action.
No, I think we're gonna get little sprinkles of Mr. Punk throughout the evening.
You think they're gonna make us wait till the end?
No. I think Randy kicks off the show, but I think CM Punk probably comes out in the middle of it because nobody kicks off the show by themselves. Like somebody starts by themselves, but then it's like, and another one, and another one, and
yeah,
another.
I kind of hate that. Like,
so do you think it's safe to say that if Punk interrupts Randy Orton when he kicks off the show, that's going to be our first feud coming out of the debut?
I would prefer that to be the first feud rather than it just be like, hey, Seth Rollins, you're going to fight CM Punk now. Like that to me.
No, that's main event WrestleMania 40, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
The dead night one.
That's
fucking all like, over it.
Yeah, for sure. But like, it isn't right now.
So here's the deal, right? So obviously we're outside of our normal format here, and we're kind of shooting from the hip a little bit. I've got Monday Night Raw playing. There's plenty of things for us to talk about. Leading in to CM Punk making his return to Monday Night Raw with a live microphone. Obviously, SummerSlam was a thing. There's some trouble and some turmoil possibly going on the AEW side of things. And is that not what I said?
You said SummerSlam.
Oh, wow.
It's okay. Brain fart. You're good.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. We're
usually better than
November.
that. I'm usually better than that. That's pretty disappointing.
I caught it though.
It's almost like Derek's calling the show,
I got your back. It's okay. I have your back.
Instead of aggressively pecking at a keyboard over there.
He didn't notice.
I'm changing my football picks. Leave me alone. It's almost Monday Night Football as well. I almost forgot.
You are mad at that keyboard, bro.
I am because I picked the Bears. My dad picked the Bears.
Now why would you pick the Bears? What in the last 40 years of the Bears history would lead you to pick the Bears in anything?
I had a feeling in Kurt
Warner's hurt. Feeling like they're due?
Yeah, they've only had three wins this season. Maybe tonight's tonight. It's the Vikings. They're not that great. Why is this even a Monday Night Football game?
I don't know, but I'm not watching it because that sounds like honestly, that sounds like complete garbage to me. That sounds like
well, I mean, to be fair, the Vikings were a really, really good team last season with Kirk Cousins, and now they're like America's sweetheart because Josh Dobbs is on his 5th team this season, and he's the starting quarterback out there, and he's looking damn good doing it. It's real disappointing as a Steelers fan to know the situation that we're in right now with Ronnie Spickett, and know that we had Josh Dobbs sitting on our bench for like 12 years.
They won yesterday.
Are you a Bear now?
They won yesterday. It's okay. Look, the Steelers are going to end this season like 9-8. They're going to make the playoffs by the grace of God, lose in the first round, and everybody would be like, "Hey, we still make the playoffs. It's okay."
That's what's bad is they just need to lose so that Tomlin can move along.
He's not gonna. Look, even if
he's not going anywhere, bro.
Season, that's not happening. It's never.
All right.
It's never been the way.
So now that Derek is done just beating the ever-loving piss out of his keyboard, let's talk some shop. So obviously, he came right out the gates with CM Punk live reaction on Monday Night Raw. So I guess we just got to talk about fucking CM Punk. Can you guys honestly believe that this happened?
No, I still don't believe it happened. I still feel I was still until he walked out on Saturday. I was still of the mind that it was probably a work in AEW and he was the guy behind the devil mask.
Yes.
Like to me, that's not sense because the rest of it's like how could AEW be so stupid to have this not be a work? There's no way everybody involved is this stupid. There's just no way. Lo and behold, they were that stupid. They really fired the only guy that drove ratings because he threatened Jack Perry, who was being a dick. And Tony Khan feared for his life because I don't understand. But my mind is blown. Was I excited that it happened? I don't know if excited is the word. Shocked. I was shocked. I was definitely shocked. When I saw when I saw Rhea come out with the briefcase, I was like, "Oh, this is a great idea. This is how they get around Randy Orton not actually being there. Maybe Randy's there." And then Randy came out and interrupted that. I'm like, "This is a great piece of business. I'm really enjoying all this. This is great. Randy looks like $1 billion." And then that match ends, and it was a great match, top to bottom. Loved
great
every
match.
second of it. And what the fuck? Just what? What? How is he here? Shocked. My mind, I'm pretty sure I could have cleaned some of it off of my walls here. My mind shot out of my ears and hit the walls. I couldn't believe it. I'm still not sure.
Unfortunately for me, and Derek, I'll get into your reaction in a minute. Unfortunately for me, I got a late start watching the show, right? And I was on maybe like the second or third match, and I get a text message. And, generally when I know that I'm going to be starting these events later, I do a really good job of staying off of social media and, and making sure that I avoid spoilers and like, I try to genuinely watch the show with a fresh set of eyes, right? I had no idea what had happened the entirety of the show. I'm in like the second or third match. My phone goes, wham, 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 wham. I look down. It's from friend of the show, Pat Martin. I don't think anything of it, bub. I slide that bitch open. There's a picture of CM Punk standing in between two War Games cages. And he goes, "Is this real?" ?
What's most shocking about that you left out is that I thought Derek was going to blow it for you in the group chat, but I was like, stop, shut up, because I knew, and I didn't say anything, and then Derek got it, and he didn't do it, and then like 30 seconds later, Pat blew it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure my initial reaction was, "What in the actual fuck?"
Yeah, it was.
And then Tom hit me with the shish.
Because, I do. I work real hard to make sure that I get to watch that with a fresh set of eyes. And I just didn't get that. So it's, hey, here we are, top of the hour. The opening credit scene for Monday Night Raw is starting to run.
Oh, yeah, it's me.
Obviously, we're going to.
Producer Dick Wolf. We're all,
Well,
there we
I'm
go.
on
Okay.
the old Hulu streaming, so I might be a skosh ahead of you. So
Okay, I'm there now. Yeah, you were like 10 seconds ahead. All right, I'm there.
So anywho, regardless, it doesn't matter. That's outside right now. We're just kind of waiting for the deal. So
I'm just glad it wasn't us that spoiled it. Truthfully,
Derek, when you said what in the actual fuck, like, what was going through your fucking mind? Because for me, man, I'm like, there's
a sense of disappointment. There was a sense of disappointment of like, man, I had this whole storyline in AEW laid out in my head to where how great would it be if they've been working us the entire, like, say 2 months now, 3 months, whatever we want to say. And it is Punk behind the devil mask. I think obviously my mind instantly flipped to, fuck, it's Adam Cole. That kind of sucks actually, because it takes the mystery out of it. And honestly, I'd already been thinking about, for instance, the Nikki Bella thing, which I don't think we really brought up on the show, but in my mind, as I drive around the interstates of West Virginia, I think of things, and one of the things I was thinking is, since we've changed to TKO Holdings as the parent company of WWE, maybe things are different now. Maybe time doesn't heal all wounds as it used to be with Vince. And we won't see any of the Punks or the Nickies or the Ultimate Warriors or any of that come back, because
Ultimate Warrior's dead, so he can't.
Yeah. But I mean, as an example,
like,
of course,
as an example.
I know.
Yeah. But and then we see this. Then we have this, which is the ultimate. Hey, money talks and ratings talk.
Agreed.
And I'm not going to bring up the actual numbers because I'm sure we'll get into it later, but obviously huge bump in the social media YouTube.
So what
space.
Derek's talking about, what's Derek talking about is the fact that when we started, I think we were maybe what, 3-4 hours removed, and the clip on Twix was at 87 million views.
Yeah.
Craziness. Absolute insanity.
It was like they were Super Bowl numbers.
Yeah, for sure. So Derek, you had alluded to the devil storyline, and now that it's Adam Cole, and you feel a little bit let down, like this, I think that there was a lot of us. I think there was a lot of us that thought he was the devil, right? Not just in this group. I know all three of us were kind of like, he's got to be the guy, right? Because at any other point, this is a giant fucking letdown if it's not. But then, the Adam Cole thing, we started having chatter about that. And that felt really good. And it does feel like a letdown, right? And it got me thinking on that same thinking. Is this a fucking nail in the coffin of All Elite Wrestling?
I mean,
they
can't catch a fucking break, but no, I don't know that it's a nail. I think it doesn't help, put it that way. I don't think it hurts them particularly, especially since they fired Punk. Like that, I think them actually firing Punk was the nail. Like, kind of like what I had said earlier about, like, there's no way they're this stupid. They didn't kill. They didn't strangle the goose that lays the golden egg, did they? But they did, and now we know for sure that that's what they did. So I think that was really the nail. It was just sort of a delayed, like, well, maybe they're not actually this stupid, and maybe they're working us. I hope for their sake that's what's happening. Maybe Punk got hurt again, and instead of just being like, oh, he's hurt and he's out, maybe they came up with this angle or something. And honestly, it's a great idea. But no, that's not what happened. What happened was WWE hired him, kept that a secret, and shuffled him out at the end of a show in Chicago to what I can only describe in hearing as, like, the roof exploded off of the place. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure that the roof was gone. I've never heard. I don't know that I've ever heard screams like that in a just over. It was. You couldn't have handed anybody a microphone. The PA didn't go that loud. That's how loud that building was. And here comes Randy. Randy's return is also great. Also, R-Truth's return. Let's not forget about the actual biggest return of the night, Mr. R-Truth. But
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
Tom, you had you had alluded to this a little bit here in the group message, and then you had just kind of started down that road a little bit, but kind of kept on just scooting by. You made the comment in the group chat. This was the greatest work and the biggest secret in that you can remember in fucking how many years?
I mean, I can't think of a time where I'm this shocked by who's there. I can't think of it. I never thought it would happen, ever. I never thought I'd see the day. It didn't seem to make sense to me. I'm still not sure it makes sense. I'm still not sure,
especially
it's end up. Like, I'm still not sure it's going to be any good. You know what I mean? I think, the initial shock value might be the peak, but still, that's a hell of a peak.
so this is where this becomes a very tangled web for us to discuss this evening, and why I feel like this is going to be a pretty punk-centric show for us. Is just because of all of the implications that CM Punk coming back to WWE actually has on the business.
Yeah.
And I want to get into everything that I've been thinking since Saturday, and get you guys' opinions on that. But I think first and foremost, we're going to start with Seth Rollins. So it was said that some of the talent was alerted before the match that CM Punk would be making his return. Now, Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp, somebody that the three of us look to that seems to have a lot of honest insight into what happens and what doesn't happen, is the one that said this.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads me to believe that everything that ensued post Punk walking out is a work, right?
Yeah.
Seth Rollins' reaction is a work. Seth Rollins cutting a promo at a house show in Peoria, Illinois, a work, right?
Absolutely.
It is, but it's
while I believe,
I mean, I think I don't think he likes him, but it's a work. I mean,
he doesn't, not at all.
He was okay
to
do say
business.
that. I mean, it was given the thumbs up.
Oh yeah, he
was
going to do business.
That was definitely fuck him. But also, you can say that to the crowd, fuck him. Okay, thanks.
Well, I think also it's important to point out here that Seth Rollins isn't a member of the Young Bucks. He's been at the top of this game. He's been at the top of this business for a decade now. He's been a top guy for a long time. I'm sure there's plenty of guys that he doesn't like or that don't like him or whatever. You don't get to the top and stay at the top without having to do that. However, you stay at the top by continuing to do good business. And if there's one thing you can always say about Seth Rollins, he goes out there and he does good business every single week. He is there for the betterment of the company. He is there for the betterment of WWE. He is there for the fans. He's there for the crowd. And if the crowd and the fans want to see Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, it does not matter how much he does not like CM Punk as a person. It does not matter if he does not like Phil Brooks. They're going to go down there and they are going to do everything in their power. Well, at least Seth's going to do everything in his power to tear the house down with him. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
I think that's just all there is to it. And Punk probably doesn't like Rollins either, but whatever.
I mean, that's a possibility because they did have some crossways back in the day. You know, because Punk was a part of the Shield coming in, if you remember correctly, in the whole Ryback thing. So, and Seth Rollins just recently, a couple of months ago, did something with OTR over the ropes or whatever that fucking thing is, and it was one of those on stage interviews, and he had made the comment, hey, all the stuff that I've said about Punk in the past, I truly feel that way, and all of the stuff that I said is true. Have a match with him? Absolutely, I would like to have a match with him.
Sure.
And here we are, right?
It's time for money.
Yeah, I mean, all they can do now is make money. Like, that's what's going to happen. This is money. This is all like this is going to put butts in seats.
I mean, this is where you have the separation between WWE and AEW and a large portion of things when it comes to the business side of things. My employees, let's say, for Vince McMahon, TKO, Triple H, they're going to go out there and they're going to do what's right for the business. Whereas, Tony Carter and his lackeys, they're working off their own egos, their own butthurtness, and, trying to get themselves over, not get the entire company over, which is obviously the goal,
Right.
So, yeah, I 100% am with you on that, where, we're going to see some good matches out of this. Is he going to survive long enough to remain uninjured, to actually have a run?
That's TBD. I mean, I think that's he's got a better chance of that happening in WWE. I don't think that we're going to see Punk wrestle a lot of matches. I think we'll see. I think he'll wrestle pretty regularly, but I don't think it'll be as rare as like the Roman Reigns matches. I think he'll wrestle regularly enough to keep that. Wrestlers talk about that ring bump callus. He'll wrestle regularly enough to keep that maintained, but I don't think we're going to see him, doing, a 10-minute match every Monday or Friday or whatever. I just don't think we're going to see him wrestle too terribly often. He might get, 5-10 minutes a week. I think we're going to see him mostly on the mic
with the stick.
And I think we're really only going to see him work with top guys who are safe workers. You know what I mean? I don't expect to see him, in NXT wrestling, guys in NXT on a random Wednesday. I don't expect him to, have matches with Otis or with Bronson Reed, where he's taking big bumps from those guys. I don't expect to see any of that stuff. I expect to see him in sort of straightforward kind of just day-to-day, 5-minute matches here and there. He might wrestle Jimmy Uso. Maybe he'll take a super kick here and there, but he's only going to wrestle the guys who are 100% safe workers, guys who, when he gets out of the ring with them after that 5 or 10 minute match, he's going to wake up the next morning and feel just fine.
I'm with you on that.
He's going to wrestle those guys. You're not going to see him. And to be fair to WWE, the vast, vast majority of the guys in WWE are incredibly safe workers.
If you look at a large part of their roster, I mean, they're up in their upper 30s to early 40s at this point. If you're looking at the superstars,
honestly, if he wasn't in NXT right now, I would have assumed his first opponent would have probably been Baron Corbin. Truth be told, if he wasn't in NXT right now.
Yeah, I mean, Baron Corbin is the modern day measuring stick.
I mean, whether
we like to admit it or not.
That was his role for a long time. I mean, that's what he's doing now in NXT, so it's not going to be him, but he would have been the first kind of break-in opponent for CM Punk, I think.
Somebody to take a loss for him.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see him going for a title at any point or even being close to one.
I do.
Bro, main event WrestleMania with Seth Rollins. Like the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, that's almost for sure going to happen.
Bro, that's the money match for WrestleMania.
There's no way.
That's the money match for WrestleMania.
I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I agree. That's honestly.
That would imply that Seth is going to keep it clear till April. That's
because he is.
What about Shinsuke?
Because he is.
What about
1,000% is.
Where are we at on that then? This whole, my guy is coming with Shinsuke.
Hey, pal.
His guy?
Hey, pal. Hey, card subject to change. This is fucking change, bro. Whether we want to,
that's fine, but
like, I think that we're all in the camp that we enjoy the fact that Shinsuke's been getting this push. But like,
and if I'm talent,
I
I'm
mean,
pissed that you come in after 9-10 years.
1,000%. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are pissed
I
off,
think
and I think
Drew's
Drew
pissed,
McIntyre's
actually.
fucking one of them.
Yeah, I think Drew's pissed. Honestly, I don't disagree with you. I think Drew's pissed. Like, that's for sure.
Yeah, 1,000%. Because I think Cornette said this.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to listen to Cornette's take on all this. I don't know that it's been released.
Drew's here, okay, and now Punk shows up, and now Drew's down here.
Yeah,
and he's in the middle of a contract negotiation.
Yeah.
So, like, now what?
It's like a modern day Hulk Hogan.
I guarantee Drew's pissed.
Oh, Hulk Hogan,
and everybody thinks that whole. Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, WWE sees one color, and that's green.
Yeah.
And this is about to make them a whole lot of fucking money.
This is about. I guarantee you, we're going to get ratings for this. It's going to be 3.5 million. It's going to be.
Oh, good God!
It's going to be 2 to 3 million viewers easy. Like, Raw doesn't get. Raw is 1.5, 1.8 mil every week. Raw is going to get almost double the numbers, and it's going to be sustained throughout almost the entire night.
It's going to be over 3 on Raw this Monday, like right now.
I think points of it will be. I don't think the whole thing. I don't think the whole thing will be. I think in playback, that's really going to be. That's going to really be telling. You're going to look at YouTube numbers and whatever the CM Punk thing that they put on YouTube. That's going to have 10 million views by Tuesday night. Like that, it's going to be like. It's going to be.
I mean, they might have 10 million views by midnight tonight.
I mean, it might. It depends on how soon it happens and how soon they post it. It's only a matter of time and when the time happens.
And I think that's what circles us back, right? Like, I think everybody can be fucking angry about this all that they want, but I think. Did you watch the post-fight presser? Anybody?
I went to bed.
Okay, so Derek watched it. So Triple H kicked it off, actually, which is unusual because he usually comes out last. And he didn't really talk too much about CM Punk. He was only asked 2 questions about Punk, and one of them was a 2-parter, and he kind of glossed over the CM Punk portion of the question. But he said, hey, man, like 10 years is a long time, and if you haven't grown as a human being or changed in 10 years, that's your fault. And we listen to our fans, and we want to make sure that we're putting what they want in front of them. And that's what we're doing here. You guys talked about how you felt. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited because I think that Punk's going to air all of his dirty laundry in the most WWE way possible. Punk's going to fucking talk a lot of shit, right? Punk's going to piss a lot of people off. But all of these guys are like, hey, man, I don't fucking like you. I'm never going to like you. But we're not going to have a fucking repeat of what happened up the fucking road. Okay? No. You're not going to get under our fucking skins, like you did the fucking Young Bucks. Okay? You're not going to bother like you did Jungle Boy Jack fucking Perry. Okay? You're going to go into business for yourself like you did against Adam fucking Page. We're going to fucking put you down. Okay. And I think that's where the dynamic is much, much different as opposed to CM Punk having problems 3 months ago to CM Punk showing up at WWE at Survivor Series and what that looks like for WWE moving forward, what that looks like for the wrestling business as a whole moving forward. Right? If WWE was a strong number 1 and AEW was a fucking distant number 2, that gap has grown so much in 48 hours. It's fucking absurd.
Yeah. Well, I was going to argue with you, but after these comments, yeah, you're actually completely right because there's not a soul in that locker room. Whereas whenever he went into AEW backstage, it was like, oh, I'm going to be a mentor. I'm going to, teach these young guys XYZ about the business, and you come in here to the WWE locker room. There's not a soul here that needs to hear from you.
Yeah.
Is there some that will be receptive? Most likely. But is there anyone,
Absolutely.
you're not going to come in here and be the
Randy
new
Orton
Undertaker
is going to be one of those people.
Yeah, you're not going to be the new Undertaker.
No.
We have someone for
you. Know what? I liken his return very much to he's going to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin in his prime, right? Like, he's going to come in. He's going to have some fucking good matches. He's going to fucking be a big deal. He's going to talk shit. He's going to say what he wants to say. He's going to fucking make a lot of money doing it. And then his contract's going to come up and he's going to go home because he's made his money. He's fixed his fucking legacy. He's left pro wrestling on his terms, which is what he's always wanted to do. And he can still, at the end of the day, sit back and say, my name's Phil Brooks, and I was WWE's martyr. But I made a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Both times. Right? And I think at the end of the day, that's all he wants. That's all he wants. He needs the pat on the back. He needs that hug, whether he wants to admit it or not. He needs that.
Yeah.
Wait, is Jelly Rolls there? And R-Truth. There we
somebody
go.
to tell him, good job.
Now the real
Straight
guy.
edge, and we love that. You're the best.
I mean, they love that for the kids, the straight edge thing. Although, that's not really the drinking beer and raising hell isn't really a thing, and nobody does that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up on, and look at me. Terrible way to grow up.
So I want to the ruffle shuffle, baby.
Oh man.
So I want to stay on the subject of CM Punk here, but I want to pivot, okay? And I want to talk about the city of Chicago, okay? Let's talk about the city of Chicago. So this week, the city of Chicago had three.
Hold on, before you get into this, because I love where you're going with this. But it just dawned on me that Akira Tozawa is the Daniel Garcia of WWE.
Oh, fuck off!
And he's way better than Daniel Garcia. He's way more interesting. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
With the ruffle shuffle. No, you're good.
With the ruffle shuffle.
So here's the deal, right? And think about it this way: Chicago hosted 3 top-tier wrestling shows this week for a rough total of 43,000 tickets, 40 to 43,000, we'll call it, sold, right? Roughly 17,000 for Survivor Series, and roughly 16,000 for SmackDown at the Allstate Arena, right? And a whopping fucking 7,000 at the Chicago University of Illinois fucking thing down the road. Blacked out tarps. Okay. Chicago is a great wrestling city, right? It's the unofficial home.
Yeah.
It's the unofficial home of All Elite Wrestling. All In was there. They go every year on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, they're in Chicago more than they're not. Okay. Does what happened in WWE in Chicago this weekend kill Chicago for AEW?
Well, they know CM Punk's not going to randomly show up now. It definitely hurts their ticket sales in Chicago, because I feel like, especially in Chicago, they knew that even though, they said they walked out. They walked out in Chicago and said that they had to fire CM Punk. They were in Chicago when they said that. I mean, I think it's you might be right. It might be dead. I'm interested to see now what happens and what they do the next time they go back to Chicago, because it might be dead now. They may never recover from that, because they kicked out their favorite son, right? The AEW may be dead to Chicago right now. I don't know how much Chicago holds a grudge necessarily, because after WWE fired him, they still went back to Chicago a bunch, and those people still showed up. But
well, to be fair, that WWE fired CM Punk by proxy, because CM Punk took his ball and went home.
That's true.
Okay, that's what happened.
That's true.
So, I mean, I I think that that's an interesting thing that we're going to have to pay attention to moving forward. What does this mean for AEW in the city of Chicago?
I hate to say this, guys, but I mean, this is assuming that Chicago wasn't already dead for AEW at this point.
I was thinking about that too.
sincerely think that the time that we had to sit there and say, I fired CM Punk, he hurt Jack Perry's feelings because he used real glass, blah blah blah. Now Jack Perry is the devil behind the mask. It's
Oh, could you imagine if it's not if it is like Jack Perry? Could you
I'll
imagine?
retire
Hey,
from professional. I will
listen.
retire from professional wrestling. If
You
he
will?
Listen, y'all
is
talk
behind the
about
mask.
Jack Perry being behind the mask. I'm gonna go say goodnight to my kids. I'll be right back.
All right. So, could you imagine how terrible that would be?
Oh my gosh!
If
man.
it is, if it's not Adam Cole, if it's like Jack Perry or somebody just like completely stupid. Like, what if it's like, what if it's somebody from like New Japan or somebody who's just been from like Ring of Honor or something?
I'm scared to even think that. And to be honest with you bringing up the Ring of Honor thing, for me, watching the show, it's become, not to say a chore, but okay. So whenever we first started this whole expedition 4 years ago, there was a lot of new wrestlers I needed to learn. You know, there was a lot I needed to learn about and get to know, blah blah blah. And I put in my time and I did that. But now that you've acquired Ring of Honor, I feel like now we're starting all over. And now we've got a lot of bad press. And there's just so much going against them that, I mean, I was sitting in there in the living room right while I was chatting with you guys before we started the show, watching Collision, and just like, I don't know who a good 40% of these people are. You know, I mean, in my mind, I have names for them. Dreadlock Priest guy and, Fat Man. Comes out with him.
Guy and Fat Man. Yeah, okay. So
But
you're talking about
I have no idea. Even if you said their names.
It's Vincent and what's his face? Yeah. What are their names? Yeah, but yeah, them. I got them. I got you.
I mean, I'm just not in a spot where I want to relearn half the roster again. I really feel like Tony didn't implement this properly. And
well, I mean, I think that's constantly been. I think since they started the whole Forbidden Door thing, I think it's constantly kind of been a revolving door of like people who they think you already know, but you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, well, you clearly watched 30 plus hours of, you subscribe to New Japan and you watch all the Ring of Honor stuff and you've watched, and you've done this for years, right? Decades even. So like, these guys because they've been indie darlings for decades and you've gone to all the indie shows and you bought all the shirts and all that crap, but you didn't, right? And nobody did. Like, that's the thing. There's a few dozen people that did. But it's like Tony Khan's putting on this show and a lot of these shows for like the dozens and dozens of people who follow pro wrestling, like down in the indie level, like it's their job. And then he puts them on TV on TNT and he's like, why did only 50 people watch this show? Why can't I sell tickets to this show? It's like, well, because nobody gives a shit about the guy that you just brought in. And yeah, I mean, admittedly, you bought him a plane ticket from Japan. Like, you spent a lot of money, but nobody gives a crap, man.
That was nice of you.
It was real nice, yeah. I'm sure he loved the plane ticket. He loved the hotel you put him up in. He loved the money you gave him at the end. He loved catering. I'm sure all of that was great. And he had a fun time wrestling a match with the other one of your indie darlings that you purchased on the American side. But we don't know. Like, nobody knows them. Nobody knows why they're supposed to care about them. Nobody knows why they get 20 minutes of TV time. Nobody understands. And
the other indie darling that was on sale for Cyber Monday. Glad you brought him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Right. But it's like nobody understands. Like, I don't understand why. Oh, Tag Team Turmoil. That's what this is. So DIY defeated the Alpha Academy, and they're now fighting into Sure. Yeah. So this is also kind of the this is the equivalent of like kind of this is kind of bullshit match. Like, I like DIY a lot. Obviously, I love Ciampa, and Gargano's pretty cool. Indusher has had some TV time lately, but like, I'm pretty over these giant mama jammas here. These are just some big guys that can't wrestle, and I'm Not real sure. I mean, I guess WWE's got a contract in India. That's why they got to put some guys out there who are native born in India, but still, can't really say they're over or under, or the crowd's like, what the hell's going on right now? Who are these guys? Anyway, back to the point of WWE or AEW and just the whole conundrum that they've booked themselves into is that, now they've got TV time, but they don't use it to like properly vet their stars and give you like people to care about and stuff. It's like, here's this guy from New Japan. Here's this other guy from New Japan. Hey, remember this guy from TNA 10 years ago? Like,
oh, that guy.
No, nobody remembers you. And you have Excalibur talk about them as though they're like the most popular guy ever. But these people never get to talk. They don't get to give, like, the only people that get microphones are people that absolutely either demand them or know that they like. It seems to me like the only people I've heard talk in AEW lately is like MJF, Jay White, and then whomever Renee Paquette is talking to. But they usually just let Renee talk, and they make like. But even then, it's not those guys that nobody knows about. It's people They just hang out with Renee Paquette sometimes. Like Daddy Magic gets to talk. Those same couple guys. But it's really like a handful of guys that get to talk, and all the random one-off guys never get to say anything, and they never get to introduce themselves. Never get to say who they are. Creed brothers. These guys are going to be
not a fan. Not
really.
A fan. You like that? You like that?
Oh my! These guys are going to be a huge deal. They kind of already are. But these guys are going to be a big deal. I don't know that as the Creed brothers they'll be a big deal, but these guys are a big deal. Anyway,
I think it would really boost them if they
April.
Come out with... Good
Lord.
Lord.
He's back.
This is my absolute nightmare.
Because you don't know where he is.
WWE, please.
They probably do have more sturdy doors at WWE. That's a nice.
They certainly do. I've seen the doors.
Yeah, that's good.
They certainly have.
It's a rickety door.
Poor Larry the dog.
Hey, Larry the dog bit a guy.
Larry's probably banned from backstage.
Larry the dog bit a guy.
Hey, speaking of Larry,
contract.
speaking of Larry the dog, right? So like, I've been putting off buying that shirt.
The Larry the dog shirt?
Yes.
I don't know why.
So why have I been putting it off? Because I couldn't decide if I could really wanted to bring myself to purchase a CM Punk t-shirt.
Was it like $35 once shipping and everything was done too? Because that's always what kind of puts me off too. If it was like 20 or if it's like $20 for like a really stupid shirt, like I'm totally down with that. Like I've got a shirt that says "Want to see my ninja costume," and if I pull it up over my head, it's like a ninja mask. But I paid $17.99 for it or something. So it was like it's completely stupid. I've lost it. I don't know where it is, but it's fine. I'm totally okay with that purchase. But for whatever reason, $35 is way too much.
It's a t-shirt. Yeah. Like what do you got in it? $8? If that, and that's if it's a nice quality t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
You're printing off.
Listen, I think we're selling. We sell our shirts, our One Fall WrestleCast classic logo shirts. Those are on sale for $18.99, and I think we make off each one sold.
Yeah. All right. And that's we're not even a direct distributor ship. Well,
no,
drop ship.
I lied.
No, that's a
drop ships, right? They drop ship.
Yes, drop ships.
Yeah.
So I started to anyway. So Punk walks out on fucking Saturday, and I'm like, fuck, I'm never gonna be able to get that shirt. So I head on over to shopaew.com. Nope,
gone.
She gone.
They're all gone. Well, because all that stuff too is print to order stuff. So like there isn't stock to like get rid of anymore. And that's the problem with
except for what they take to live events,
which is practically nothing.
Yeah, they take DVDs for fucking schmucks like Derek.
That's literally
Look up them
all they take.
DVDs on eBay, bitch.
Buddy,
I'd be
I
getting
don't
some
even
cash out of them if I wanted to.
know. I have a legit question. Do you have a DVD player that's not a game console?
Actually, yes. Yes.
Because I do not.
It's for my daughter, but that counts.
Well, I thought about this the other day. Like, I don't even have a DVD player on my PC. Like, my PC can't even take discs.
Oh yeah, mine doesn't take discs. No.
I think my work laptop's old enough. It probably takes discs, although I haven't messed with it. Does my work laptop even take? No, my work laptop doesn't even take discs. It's older than 2018. Like, I've had that since I started where I am now. So it's like 2018, and it doesn't take discs. So it's been a long time since I've had anything. In fact, I've never owned a Blu-ray player that wasn't like a PlayStation. That wasn't a PlayStation or something.
It rocks. New.
I mean, at this point, man, I've looked up replacement 4K Blu-ray players because I'd like to move the actual player into Sid's room while leaving the one in the living room for Jack. And you're talking a few $100s, if at best a couple $100s.
See, at that point,
especially when
buy another Xbox.
Yeah, just get another Xbox or get another PlayStation or something. Get a PS4. PS4 is a great Blu-ray player.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Plays 4K.
So outside of CM Punk returning, which we're going to have more to talk about when it comes to CM Punk. Obviously, Randy Orton made his return, and Tom, you kind of brought that up earlier in the show. He looks great, by the way.
Looks like $1 million.
It's kind of a big deal. Looks like he's getting thrown in with Judgment Day right away after this opening promo today. I'm into that.
That's new. Randy has not fought with anybody in the Judgment Day. It wasn't a thing when he got hurt. Or no, Edge was the leader still when he got hurt. The Judgment Day was still a thing. But I mean, he didn't feud with any of them. They were embroiled in their own thing at the time, which was separate from Orton.
Dom was probably still with his daddy at that point. He wasn't even dirty.
I think it was Randy got hurt, and they were feuding with Judgment or with the Bloodline at the time. Because remember they were the tag champs, and that was all just kicking off at that point, and that was on the other show because they were feuding with Bloodline on Friday. That was all kicking off on Mondays, so they weren't even ships passing in the night.
I mean, he's been gone so long. His tag team partner got fired.
Sure did. Sure did.
Did you see that tweet? Is that something you're going to cover?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it now since you brought it up. So, Matt Riddle, Tom, did you see Matt Riddle's tweet?
I did. Go ahead.
So, for those of you that may not have seen Matt Riddle's tweet, Matt Riddle tweeted out, "Hey at WWE, good luck with at CM Punk. You thought I was hard to deal with." Man, the internet ate Matt Riddle alive.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
I mean,
though I would love to watch a charity MMA match between himself and CM Punk.
I mean, he would destroy CM
how
Punk.
bad that would be.
Phil would die.
Yeah, that's not even close. Like
Phil would die.
They're not even in the same weight class. Like that's not even close. That's not fair.
Phil was at 170 and Matt Riddle was at 155. So Matt Riddle actually was a lower weight class, but
so he's going to give up weight. That's fine. Let's do it.
Much more skilled. He was at one.
I'm much more skilled than Phil in the octagon.
No,
that doesn't take much.
Let's not.
I will Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Okay, sure you will,
Tom.
You want to put that to the test, pal?
For charity, we can do that.
I still want to see Walt Vader bomb you. Truthfully.
We'll do it at the Roadhouse in the parking lot.
No, bad things already happened in that parking lot. We're not doing that. Let's not.
Okay,
let's not
we're done. We're done. We're done. Okay, we're done. Like, for fuck's sake, we're done.
Fuck that news store. We got wrestling over here.
Fuck that new store anyway. You know what I mean?
Hey, in solidarity, I've not been there, and I'm not gonna.
Nope.
Yeah. I'll murder you. Yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm
said
not.
what I said.
I'm just not gonna.
I said what I said.
I heard you, and I'm just not gonna. Out of solidarity, out of respect, put some respect on your name.
Anywho, let's get off of that subject before I get
All right,
fired.
fair enough.
Yeah, man. So like, I overall, I thought Survivor Series was a fucking excellent show, top to bottom.
So
I
this
thought it was
kind of
the only
brings me
wrestling that was actually worth watching this week. To be honest with
it
you,
brings me to a point that I was actually kind of really thinking about hard this week because I watched all the wrestling except for Saturday because I was watching Survivor Series. I watched a little bit because Rampage started at 7 on Saturday. So I watched Rampage because it was in Pittsburgh and I knew people that were there. And
Man, our kids would have struggled. Our kids would have struggled. That was a
they would
4-hour
not
night.
have made it. They would not have made it, I don't think. But so I watched a little bit of it because I knew people that were there and I actually did see them in the front row, but or not in the front row. They were like 6 or 7 rows back. But so I watched a little bit of it and I was like, man, this is garbage. Why am I watching this? Like, this is not fun to watch. I wandered around, did shit, and like I was dealing with kids and all kind of other stuff because it was Saturday and the kids were here, and I think we played a couple games of Fortnite or something too, and just was mucking around with the kids and doing stuff. But the difference really, I think, between WWE and AEW now, and it kind of really was very much on display this week, and then last week with the AEW pay-per-view, was how tight the WWE shows are, and how like every segment, like even the matches that are sort of like this is kind of a piss match, like the like Dragon Lee versus because Carlito was hurt, so Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar, which was kind of for me kind of deflating because I was into what Santos was doing and I was into that build as well. And him getting hurt on Friday and then not being able to compete on Saturday and then just kind of plucking Dragon Lee into that spot was
well, I mean, to be fair, Dragon Lee's been on the outside of that looking in for the last couple of weeks, talking about Rey Mysterio being his fucking mentor, and this, that, and the third, and how he wants to be better than Rey Mysterio. So like that was kind of just sitting there for the taking.
I mean, it made sense,
but fine. I mean, but there's nothing that drives Tom crazier than a cold match.
Yeah. And so I mean that was a letdown. I mean, it was still a good match. Those guys are still good wrestlers. They didn't let it go too long too, which I think is a credit to WWE. They gave it about 10 minutes. They were like, look, guys, it just didn't work this time. We'll get it on the rebound. You got 10 minutes, go. And that's what they did. They did their best. So I understand shit happens. It's live. It's not so I wasn't terribly upset about it, but it was sort of one of those things where it was just like a little too much, right? Are you making fun of Imperium right now?
It's too much, man. It's too much. It's too much.
What?
It's
You're
too much.
out of your
like he needs to
mind.
He needs to reel it in just a little bit. He's doing too much. Like he just needs to reel it in just a little bit.
Yeah,
he's a fucking star waiting to happen. Yeah, he's a star waiting to happen. He needs to just reel this in just a skosh.
Yeah, I agree
just
with that.
Scotch.
Although you weren't here. How do you feel about the Creed brothers? I think they're going to be a big deal. I think we're seeing
I think we're going to see tonight that they're going to be a big deal because they're going to win this.
Yeah, I think they're going to win this too. I think that thing,
if I'm not mistaken,
that cannonball he does off the top rope, I think is just so cool. It looks so good because he like floats for a second, and it's really like it's like nothing I've ever seen before, and it's not like even that particularly stunning. It's just a huge man in a ball smashing into another guy, and sometimes that's just like, hey, that looks like it sucks. I don't want that to happen to me, and sometimes that's enough,
Well, I mean, it's definitely effective.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially effective when it comes to an audience of Tom. I mean, he's a huge of large manly meat smashing into each other.
Yeah, that's what I buy a ticket for.
Yeah,
He likes warm meat and hates cold matches.
The bigger, the better.
Big warm meat, hate cold matches. Exactly. That's a good.
But I do, Tom. I think they're going to be a big deal. I think they're going to win this match because if I'm not mistaken, Imperium's the last team to come in here.
I think you're
and
correct.
There's been seeds of discontent here, with Vinci and Kaiser, and I mean, eventually I think that the three of these guys are going to all go their separate ways, and they've positioned Ludwig Kaiser to be a big deal. And I mean, obviously,
the guy looks like $1 billion, and he's a fantastic wrestler.
Yes.
But when he goes his own way, he's got to cut this shit out. You're right. That's got to go.
No, I like it. It's just too much. There's too much of it.
I think
the whole way to the ring.
Yeah, I think he could do with another gimmick or something different.
And they're trying it. I mean, they're making him this suave, like I'm into it. I'll be interested to see what happens.
His girlfriend is smoking hot, so
yeah, fucking 14 out of 10.
Yeah. I mean, the man is with Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton, bro.
Yeah, the man is with Tiffany Stratton. Yeah. They work out together. They train together.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They tan together. They're the same color human.
Are we saying that's a 14? You're saying that's a 14?
What? Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah.
14 out of 10? Yeah, probably.
14? Okay.
Yeah, probably.
What, do you disagree?
I mean,
no, I'm just observing. I'm just observing. I'm not,
Look, she's out of my league, buddy. I can't tell you. I'm not gonna tell you she's in my league. She's way out of my league.
I mean, yeah, that's more of like a 2:00 last ditch effort. Am I right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Shooting your shot at 2:00.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Definitely shooting your shot at 2:00. If she's standing alone and trying to pay her tab, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the face on Tom.
You come here. You come here often.
More like you come here often.
People know me.
Stumbling around.
Hey, pretty girl.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Can I get one of them drinks on that tab for you? Slide over a crisp 5.
You want to come back to my apartment? It smells of rich mahogany and leather-bound books.
Is she gonna get to your house and be like, I'm not gonna lie, this smells like straight gasoline.
Boxes of cat.
Oh fuck. Shit. Hey, so the women's war game match is getting a lot of fucking praise out there.
Yeah, that was good. I liked it, especially after the bell rang. So up to that, it was a little shaky, but after the bell rang, it just like took off.
I didn't hate it.
Did you hear him?
What he said?
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
Io did the trash can spot.
She did,
And
but
then-
that's exactly why I didn't like it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me, you, and 5,000 other people watched that, but like 2 million people watched her do it in there. Like a few thousand of us watched her do it a couple years ago, but like 2 million people watched her do it there, and it looked way better this time because she actually jumped into like some. She actually jumped into all professionals.
No, but she jumped into the 4 people that were all standing there like. That's dumb.
I mean, it's a little spotty, but at the same time, like, I'm glad she didn't die with a trash can on her head. Like, it just makes sense. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna do it, you may as well go big.
I guess.
If she dies, she dies.
But they all there make sure she didn't. Although, can I want to point out that Charlotte Flair obviously shouldn't put a trash can on herself, but she did a backflip off and landed. She hit everybody and then landed on her feet.
Yeah, that looked rough. Like that looked like it would have hurt.
It hurt everybody except Charlotte. I mean, if it hurt Charlotte, she didn't sell it like it hurt.
I mean, the impact though of the feet through the knees, to me, whenever I watched that, was like just wincing myself like that. Ugh.
Yeah, that's because you're a 36-year-old out of shape fucking dad. That's why you winced. Okay.
Yeah. Look, if any of us would have done that, we would have been dead. We would have been corpses.
Oh, dude, I'm in a wheelchair at least. Right? Like I can't even walk up the fucking steps. Like,
my bones would have crumbled to dust.
I told you guys before I came on here, I'm laying on the couch and I thought I was gonna pass out from back spasms. I mean, I'm literally blacking out. And I'm just watching TV. Trying to take a half nap before we get on here.
If I'd have done that one, I wouldn't have got the rotation and I'd have landed on my head. But two, if I'd have tried that, and let's say, by the grace of God, somehow I land exactly the way Charlotte Flair did, my bones crumble from my feet up to my hips, and I'm like just skin from the hip down. I'm just like these. I just have these like rubber skins, and like my bones are just dust. They dragged me to the hospital, and they're like, I have never seen bones disintegrate like that.
Hey Derek. Yeah. Hey Derek, I'd like to direct your attention to your TV screen, sir.
Is it time? All right.
Creed Brothers won.
No.
Very correct.
Oh.
Creed.
Fuck them.
No, what?
So Derek, Derek, I gotta know what outside of the EO spot, what made you think the match was
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't like Shotzi. I think Shotzi sucks and just
Shotzi only took bumps.
That's
all that happened.
This was a big time moment for her, right? Like this whole story was big time for her. Chance to get herself over and fucking standing next to Charlotte Flair, Becky fucking Lynch, Bianca Belair, and I agree with you. I think she missed. She's trying to play this like psycho character, and it's not working.
Yeah.
Like it's
what she reminds me of is Sherry O'Terry in the movie Liar Liar. Whenever she comes in and has the hair, and and how do you like the new hairdo? Whatever takes the focus off your face, like
yeah.
That's where we're at.
Sherry O'Terry.
It's not good. It's not good, right? And
so I have another comment on Shotzi too, and I think that this is I don't want to like. You guys are going to be there's no good way to say this, so I'm just going to go out and say it. Shotzi like dropped weight and she looks really bad. Like she doesn't look strong. She doesn't look like a wrestler. She looks like I want to
almost that thick Shotzi.
No, I'm not. I mean, yes, but like also like that. It doesn't look. She doesn't look like a wrestler. She doesn't look intimidating. She doesn't look like somebody who could fight somebody else and be. She's like 90 pounds soaking wet.
Can I shed some light on this? That's possibly one of those things that maybe this will explain this issue. So you remember whenever like the whole hair thing happened, right?
Yeah.
So she volunteered to do that because like her sister's got like terminal cancer or some shit.
Yeah.
And she did it as a thing of solidarity, and like I'm sure that trying to get over this new character and trying to balance being a good sister and like all this stuff, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe she's not taking care of herself outside of the ring. Maybe she's making questionable decisions outside of the ring because she's got some sort of remorse. I'm spitballing, right? Like I don't.
I mean,
obviously,
this is good.
I don't know. I'm speculating,
but any.
So like, but I agree with you, Tom. She's definitely dropped some LBs, and I don't think it's in a good way.
Doesn't look like healthy ways to lose LBs.
She looks, and this is the best way to put this without pissing anybody off, I think this is the most politically correct way to put this. She looks real frail.
Yeah.
And she's never been like an overly like big girl, you know.
No.
I would say she's got average build.
Mhm.
She was of average build, you know, for the wrestling world. She looks frail.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. I agree. She looks frail, and I think they try to cover that up with what they put her in, but it almost looks baggy on her. Like she walks out in like that like plasticky like stuff that's supposed to be skin tight, and it's like baggy. It's like hanging on bones, and it's you're right. She looks frail, and that's not one. It's not believable that she's going to win a fight like that, and two, it's not. It's like it almost like it almost makes me sort of like, is she okay? Is she sick?
Yeah.
Is she not doing like it's not? It doesn't like put me in the match. It puts me in like.
Right.
Like, obviously, I want her to be healthy and be good and be good because I think she is a good worker. I think she is a good.
See,
talent.
I disagree. I don't think that she is. I don't think that she's come along.
I think she has been a good talent in the past, but I think you're right. And since moving to the main roster, I think she's sort of gotten lost and become frail. And I think her character, you know, is also sort of seems frail to me as well.
And maybe that's what they're going for. I mean, it could be fucking, you know, any plethora of things. But I'm not into it, Derek, and you're absolutely right. And you know, Tom, you were right. She was there to take bumps. She was the bump machine. She was the Sasha Banks of that match. And maybe that's what they're trying to do with her. Maybe they're trying to move her into that bump machine role. But like Sasha taking big bumps meant something. Because Sasha was a big deal. Whether we want to sit here and we want to fucking admit that or not, Derek, Sasha was a big deal. So when Sasha took a fucking one of those bumps that she looked like she died, okay, it meant more because that's Sasha fucking Banks, right?
But also, Shotzi didn't take any bumps that looked like she died. She just took bumps. Like that's the other thing too.
Right.
Like she took the
she does take bumps. She does take bumps like she looks like she dies sometimes.
Sometimes, but she really didn't in this match. She missed twice. She took a couple like decent like power slams and power bombs, but nothing like it wasn't any of those like neck snap like off the bottom rope type of thing. The ones those Sasha Banks bumps. It's like good. Her head came off. Like it looked like her head came off. Like
and
here's
those bumps. Here's my honest assessment of the match as a whole. Right. I checked out, man. I wasn't into it. I was fucking. I was scrolling Facebook at this point. Not really. No, I was. Yeah, because Pat had already kind of ruined the show for me. So maybe that's when I started to talk about it. But because I was only in the first 3 matches, I just don't remember where it was. But I was checked out, bub. I wasn't into it. It didn't do it for me. There was definitely a couple of cool spots, the trash can spot, but like Derek said, we've seen that already. But Tom, you're right. Cody Rhodes. All right, I was just waiting to see here because we're top of the hour. So, Punk's going to close his show, and we're not going to get to talk about it live.
Shucks. Oh well.
We tried.
We
did try.
We tried. But I was checked out, man. I could have gave 2 fucks about this match. And I think that the problem with that is we put this women's War Games match on the card just to say that we put the women's War Game match on the card.
Now, hold on, because I think there were some clear, very clear stars here, and I think there was some very clear.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. There was nothing that made me give a fuck about this match, bud.
I mean, maybe I just feel differently about the women in the match. I feel like Bayley was really was really the star here because she started the match off and was strong the whole way through. I thought,
as she always will be. I'm not discrediting anything that she did in the match. I just didn't do it for me.
I think Becky and Charlotte getting along was cool. I like that.
Yeah, they're gonna go on a tag team run and win the tag team championships. Like, and it's gonna be fucking glorious. And they've put their differences aside and they hugged in the end. It's all great. We told no story. Like, this match was supposed to be the vehicle that they were going to use to put the fucking damage control thing over, and we got fucking Sami Zayn in the Bloodline last year. That's what we got with this.
Well, you know what? I actually think what's going to happen is this is going to be the catalyst of breaking up damage control. I think, and this is me fantasy booking it because Bayley ate the pin. So I'm kind of thinking that this is sort of the catalyst of, the rest of damage control looking to Bayley and going, "Hey, look, you let us down."
Yeah.
Bayley like, "What do you mean I let you down? Like, I saved the match 3, 4, 5 times. When I finally was the one who needed saved, you didn't come and save me." Like, I think that's really what's going to come out of this, and I think that's going to be. I don't know that it was a blow off as much as it's a start of something new. So I think we need to wait and kind of see where this goes, because I think storylines come out of this more than storylines.
I'll give you that argument. All right. Maybe I just didn't see it that way because I was dissatisfied with the match. But however, it didn't do anything for me. Like,
I mean, that's fine.
These will be things that they can call back on, in the next couple of weeks and be like, "Oh, you fucked us over." She's gonna be like, "Yeah, but I took all these bullets. I did this. I did that."
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't there for me, man. And as far as I'm concerned, it was the worst match on the show.
No, I don't agree with that either. But okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna argue with you. I understand where you're coming from. It was pretty. Other than Bayley, I feel like it was pretty sloppy till the bell rang. So I mean, to give it the criticism that it does deserve some criticism.
No, and there was too much bullshit. And is it the fact that the men's match was so much better because
it was so tight
while they were inside the War Games?
So good.
The limited use of weaponry, I think stood out to me the most. Like, they were taking weapons out.
Yeah.
Right. Like, they were getting rid of weapons, and that match was much more put together. And I just wasn't into the women's match, man. It just didn't do anything for me.
I'll tell you another spot that I liked was when Io got to the top with the chain and threw the chain down to Dakota, who then put the trash can in with the chain, and they hoisted the trash can up with the chain. I like that.
That was great. But I expect that out of a smart heel group to figured something like that out. Like, I don't know.
I like that. I thought that was a nice little bit of booking as well. So to me, I feel like it had bright spots. It was the correct match to go on. It was the correct War Games match to do first. Yeah. Because it would not have had it been later in the show at all, it would not have fared as well in my mind. But
listen, if it would have closed the show, that would have been the stinker of the night. That would have ruined the dynamic of the entire show.
It would have.
And to your argument, the amount of star power in that women's War Game match warranted the main event spot over Dominic fucking Mysterio. I mean,
maybe, but Dom gets big bumps. Plus, Rhea was out there for that too. So it's hard to
right.
You couldn't have had that with a CM Punk entrance either. I mean, he's going to come out and threaten the women.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe April comes out with him.
April. Hey, did you see that the internet was all over fucking that shit on Saturday morning?
What, that she's gonna come back?
No. WWE released onto their Spotify playlist a remastered version of Cult of Personality.
Oh yeah.
2023 at like 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and the internet was all over that shit.
Mm-hmm. It was known.
I kind of didn't want to I was kind of go into like big pay-per-views like the big four, like Survivor Series and WrestleMania and stuff like that. I kind of try to go in blind as possible, because stuff like this happens. Like, promo material leaks out, things happen, especially day of, because like it's just open, so you kind of almost have to be blind to it. But yeah, I saw that on Sunday because I listened to it on Sunday, and I was like, they did remaster this a little bit. They cleaned it up.
And here's the thing, right? Like when I saw that on Saturday afternoon, I was like, "Oh, that's some bullshit," and I just kept going. Right, never even crossed my mind until a couple of days later. I was like, "Oh man, the internet got one right."
Finally,
Go internet.
You know, a match was fucking phenomenal, though. You know what match was fucking phenomenal, though?
What? Which one?
Every single match in the Gold League on Dynamite in the Continental Classic tournament.
Oh my god!
Like, let me fucking tell you.
This fucking garbage.
Okay. Hey, bud, just talk to you.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
I feel you, right? Like, I understand. Because I was shitting on all over. All right. I was not a fan last week. And I watched the matches on Wednesday. I kind of like the format.
Explain to me what the fuck is going on. Look. Here's my thing. Maybe I'm just confused because I am confused. I feel like this has not been explained at all. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea why anybody is doing anything to. I have no idea what they're fighting for. Like, it's clearly like to fight Eddie Kingston. Everybody's fighting each other to fight Eddie Kingston for. Yeah. No. What is it?
No. Okay. So they're crowning a new champion. Okay.
A champion of
that's
what?
What they need, right? They need the Continental Classic champion.
Okay. Somebody else? There's a new belt? Wait. This is something else?
I knew this part was going to trigger you. Okay. So just wait. Right, okay. Listening. So they've now taken the New Japan Strong Championship and the Ring of Honor World Championship because fucking Eddie Kingston has both of them.
Okay. Oh. He just spit red mist into his eyes.
Now the winner of the Continental Classic will be a Triple Crown champion. And TBD what they do with that post this. Okay. So there's stakes to a tournament. Doesn't matter what the stakes are. There's stakes to a tournament. There's 2 blocks, 2 leagues. You have the Gold League and the Blue League. Okay. It's round robin.
You are not convincing me, but go on.
Okay. But listen, everybody that in both leagues have to wrestle everybody. And it's scored. If you win, you get 3 points. If you lose, you get 0. If it's a draw, you get 1 point each. Okay. The 4 people that have the highest score at the end of round robin. Okay. So that's after everybody's wrestled everybody in their box. The 2 people that have the highest score will move on to the semifinals. They will wrestle each other. And then the winners of the 2 leagues will come together to crown a Triple Crown champion. Okay. Why this is cool, to me at least, is I'm going to get to fucking see Jay Lethal and Swerve Strickland. Phenomenal fucking. Yes, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Phenomenal piece of business. It was a fucking fun match to watch, and I'm glad that I got to enjoy it. Didn't mean shit to me outside of that.
No.
Right?
Didn't mean anything to anybody.
Jay White and Roosh put on a fucking banger.
They did.
Wow.
But Jay White still won. Like, it was obvious who was going to win.
Right. But
that's my problem with this whole tournament. Everything I've seen so far is very obvious who's going to win.
Yeah, like that's the
cool idea. It's a cool idea.
So let me put this out to you, because one, it's not a cool idea. I think it's a stupid idea. I think it's just as stupid as the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and that Best in the World tournament that WWE did. And give me another one. WWE handed out a trophy that then nobody gave a shit. What is Noam Dar the champion of?
Oh, stop it! He's the supernova. You leave him be.
What's he the guy?
UK something
He's
with a
something.
big trophy.
Anyway, it is bullshit on the same level as all of that is bullshit, and it's fucking nonsense. And in AEW, it's extra nonsense because there's too many goddamn titles anyway. Everybody's a champion. Everybody's got 1 or 2 belts anyway. They're just wandering around with belts. Like, here's a belt for you. Here, you want 2 belts. Here's 2 belts for you. Hey, you want to be a trios champ? Here, you be a tag champ. You be another tag champ over there. And we're just gonna parade everybody who comes out is a champion. And this is just more of that fucking nonsense. If everybody's a champion, nobody's a champion. And nobody who's going to come out of this is going to be a champion. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who wins. All of this is very, like, clearly scripted. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I could not care. I just don't fucking care, man.
I don't either, dude. And that's what's fucking awesome about it, because I just watched 3 fucking excellent matches on fucking Dynamite.
Then just have the cold matches go out and just let them have cold matches. Like, it's the same.
There's nothing you hate more than a cold match.
These are cold matches too.
That's why this is so much fun.
Because it's just cold.
Yeah. It's just getting to watch 2 fucking great guys do their thing. This is what AEW wanted to be, but they fucked it up. This is what they wanted to be, and they figured it out 4 years too late.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, excuse me if I'm going to continue to be not excited about it, because
I don't have time to invest in these people. I enjoy watching them because they're talented inside the ring. And I think the sooner that we fucking stop looking at AEW the same way that we look at WWE and understand that they're 2 different shows, we're going to enjoy life a whole lot better.
So
I love this fucking tournament. I love everything about it.
So what you're saying is all this tournament is just a great excuse to let people put on matches, and that's what AEW needs to focus on, is putting on good matches.
Yes.
Not trying to be WWE Part 2.
Fuck it.
Electric Boogaloo. Okay.
All in. Got to make it happen.
I hear you, and I understand. However, that would mean more to me if it wasn't painfully obvious in every one of these matches thus far who was going to win.
Well, I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
Eddie Kingston lost, and he's the fucking champion. He donated 2 the championship belts.
That's fair. But otherwise,
I'm just saying, it's fun. Look at it for what it is.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna watch. I've watched all of it already. I'm obviously watching.
Derek.
Okay. Like, I'm not saying I'm not watching. I'm clearly watching.
Derek, you just left me out there. Like,
I'm sorry, man. I have an eggnog hangover going on.
You didn't like
my belly hurts.
Come to my assistance or come to.
I apologize.
Derek's got a poop. He ingested.
It's coming on, buddy.
Or side egg and dairy.
Or side with
he was drinking it straight out of the carton like he was.
I just had to put the lid on right there. Like, I got to stop. I'm
like,
genuinely sorry. I did not mean to leave you hanging with this. Oh, yeah, I wasn't even in the same time zone as you guys right there.
I like that Derek drank so much eggnog he's going to shit himself.
That was, I mean, I'm being genuine with you, buddy.
Hey, you want to know a guy who CM Punk's not going to fight? Bronson Reed.
Fuck no.
That's not going to happen. Guys who will not be opponents.
Oh, right. Mate, you want to go into business for yourself, mate?
Huh? Dude, that's not going to happen. He's not going to fight Bronson
I'll show you the dingo. You know what I mean?
Mate? I mean, he could try to fight Bronson Reed. Do you think Bronson Reed feels pain? I don't think Bronson Reed feels things.
Listen, he's a big athletic motherfucker.
He is the biggest motherfucker.
Can he really fight? Like, does he have a background in like?
Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. We've seen Phil fight for money. Okay, like.
Yeah, we have.
He's 3.
That's what makes the fight with the Young Bucks and Jungle Boy that much more hilarious to me. Like, what did he do to Jungle Boy? Did he put him in a front face lock and go, yeah, boy, yeah, we use real glass now. Oh yeah, like no, because he's frail.
He ain't fighting Bronson Reed, that's for sure. I mean, he could try, but
Derek has to poop, dude. Look.
I have a rumbly in my tumbly.
Derek,
don't want to leave though, because I always get shit on for leaving.
Well, go
But now I
shit,
have
and
to
then-
shit.
Look, here's the thing: if you come back, we won't make fun of you as much.
Yeah, man.
Notice I said as much.
Go poop. Listen, Tom and I are fucking. We're good. Just come back, because if you don't come back, I'm gonna hunt you down.
Walt and I have practice at doing this without you. We've practiced this, so
go poop
Go.
and just come back, because if not, then it's gonna deflate everything.
yeah, go acknowledge your mistake.
Listen, I can't believe he left me out to dry on that, bro. Like, I gave you an impassioned fucking point of view about why the Continental Classic is a good
And he
piece
was
of
just
business.
like, oh, God.
and
Oh no,
nothing, just fucking nothing, man.
because he's like, oh no, I'm gonna poop myself.
But you know what, though, I do really feel that way about this Continental Classic, just simply because I don't have time to invest in AEW, because I don't feel like AEW invests in what I prefer as a wrestling show.
That's a fair assessment. That's a lot of what Derek and I were talking about while you were gone, is that they've got this AEW's kind of running into this problem where they've got like half of a show, like half of their shows are like cold books and like just like kind of garbage nonsense, and it's like they're not trying to put on good matches or anything. It's just terrible. It's awful stuff, and it's either like squash matches or whatever else. And you're right, if they're gonna put on garbage television for half of the show, it may as well be at least good matches.
Yeah.
So if this is just going to be a catalyst of like good matches, but then we get the MJF Adam Cole stuff, we get some Samoa Joes, like keep the guys who are good at like
until you figure it out.
But like just let other people like, hey, we got this tournament going on and we're gonna have John Moxley versus Swerve Strickland. Why are these two fighting? It doesn't matter, because there's belts on that table over there and they want some of that. Does anybody care about those belts? No. They're
people do care about those.
Tell you what belts. What belts are those?
It's the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship, and I think it's the Ring of Honor World Championship. Yeah, and then
there's one under a black.
Yeah, that's the Continental Classic Championship.
So we're just gonna merge Ring of Honor into AEW, and they're just melting everything together for.
I don't know.
I mean, if they're just gonna hold round robin tournaments and get, if that's the end result, that we like melt in Ring of Honor to all of this, I might be convinced, but TBD.
Yeah,
I'm not there yet.
I mean, and
see your point.
And here's the thing, and let me put it over to you a little bit more, right? And let me put it in Tom speak. We always talk about how much fun those shows are.
They are really fun live,
right? But they suck on TV.
Oh my God, they're garbage.
I find myself really invested in these matches, just simply from the standpoint of, Swerve Strickland and Jay Lethal? These guys can fucking go. This is going to be fun to watch. And that piece of it, I think, is what's fun to me I'm not going to AEW anymore for good story.
No.
It's just not there. It's not there to be had.
There's no stories to be had.
And they're trying.
Trying that's giving them maybe a little too much credit.
But there's just, in my opinion, there's no story there that ever. Like MJF and Adam Cole, like in the Devil thing, like they're trying. MJF continues to be able to tell story. Jericho can usually tell a little story, but I think AEW's definition of storytelling and WWE's definition of storytelling are two different things. And I think that MJF right now is telling a WWE story.
That's good. Good point.
And like the Golden Elite, Jericho and Kenny are telling an AEW story. And I'm just not into it.
Truth be told, I'm not. One of my buddies told me today, he was like, I think MJF's garbage right now. Babyface MJF sucks. I don't want to watch this shit. And I was like, I can't argue that point. I really can't. I'm into it still, but if you think it sucks, I could see that because the kangaroo kick thing.
And like, you know how I watch the shows, right? Like, I, I watch for different reasons than you do, and Derek watches for different reasons than I do, right? Like, we all watch the same show very differently.
Yeah.
Like right now for me, like I'm looking at picture in picture and I'm like, that's funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain how I watch a fucking show most of the time, probably because I'm fucking, but it's just not doing it for me, man. But like when I can turn on AEW and watch a couple good fucking matches, and I think that to me is awesome because I really like Jay White.
Yeah, I do too.
And he's trying real hard to like fit into whatever this AEW identity is that they're trying to figure out right now, that they've still been trying to figure out for 4 years.
Well, I think there's some shining stars, to be said in AEW and to be praised in AEW. And I think the guys that you've mentioned, particularly Jay White, has been great. I think the Guns have been good. I think they've actually been better since they split from their dad. I think that I think they've really kind of hit a stride that.
It was definitely the catalyst for this growth.
And I think Jay White's been great. Juice Robinson's hurt right now, but he was gold every time he was on TV up until he got hurt. I think he's been doing fantastic. Swerve is on a new level. I think he's doing tremendous work right now. I don't know how much I liked. I mean, it was fine. The match with him and Jay White, or him and Jay Lethal was good, but I mean, I wasn't invested. I didn't care. But I watched.
I didn't either, but that was what was fun about it.
Right. But I mean, like with him and Adam Cole, I cared, and I thought that was great. I really thought, like, to me, I was really upset on their behalf that like they had let blood happen to kind of dilute the severity in which Adam Page and Swerve Strickland had gone out there and just tore each other to shreds, and then.
Yeah, so after you put that match over last week, I had to go watch it.
They tore each other to shreds.
Like, bro, I've never in my life heard you put over a death match the way that you did last week.
If you're going to do a death match, I should believe that you're trying to kill each other. I believed it. There was that was attempted murder.
It was a good piece of business.
It was attempted murder is what it was.
And business exists in AEW. We've just got to figure out what that business is. And
it's just so few and far between. It's like so spotty. Like some people go in there and do great stuff, and then it's like followed by fucking garbage. That's the problem. Is that there's no. It's not a tight show, and that's
because everybody's out there doing what they want. Mm-hmm. Nobody's being given creative direction. Hey, you want to do this, but here we're gonna do this my way, but it's yours to do with it what you want. That's how this needs to work.
Yeah,
and it's not working that way. It's being portrayed that, hey, this is the show. Here's your time. Do with it what you want.
Yeah.
It's not, hey, this is what needs to happen. Make it your own.
No, it's
and it continues to show that AEW is mismanaged.
Yeah, and that continues to be the thing, is that it's a mismanagement. It's an unruly bunch of guys who are just in it for themselves, and I think that the ratings reflect that, and I think that the show quality, particularly on television, reflects that. It just God bless Justin Roberts. He really makes the live show as good as it can possibly be, and that's a lot on him. While Derek's gone, we should actually probably talk about Jon Moxley and his idea about people getting their bells.
I was getting there, bro. You just fucking took my thunder. You did it again.
I don't mean to steal your thunder, but I also mean to say that this is a good segue. So if you'd like to segue,
I would like to I'd like to use my segue.
Okay.
So
wish I had a segue.
Go back to this has been mismanaged, and then right. Like this is the part where I would say, do you know why, Tom?
Why, Walt?
Because he's softer than puppy shit. All you got to do is ask Jon Moxley.
What are we gonna talk about? What's Jon Moxley got to say about all of this?
He didn't like the way his concussion was handled.
Really? Because neither did I. It
I
was obvious to me that he was on fucking Mars.
So truth,
and I was just watching on TV.
Truth be told, did I do it right? That's like your tagline. Did I do it justice?
Truth be told, yeah.
Okay, I just make sure I did it justice.
You did. It was good.
Okay, I didn't know that this was a thing until they asked Triple H in the media scrum about Jon Moxley's comments, and Triple H said, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna speak directly to Jon Moxley's comments because I wasn't there. I'm here, and I don't know what he went through, but I'm going to tell you what we do here." And I thought he answered it very eloquently, right? And
also,
so
Triple H did not watch the. He has no idea what happened to Jon Moxley. No idea, because he didn't watch, and he doesn't give a shit. But still, go on.
So I had to Google it, right? I had to hit the Google machine. I was like, well, what the fuck, John? I know he had a concussion. I didn't know he spoke out about it. So then I started reading it, and, he's like, oh, I've got these ideas, and I've got this, and I've got that. And I said, hey, man, Tom, this got you written all over it. So give me the story here. Like, he felt like AEW, didn't handle his concussion thing very well.
So he felt like it seems to me, and this is just basically based on what I had read. He felt like he got his bell rung, and nobody knew but him. And then he kind of had to shake it off a little bit to come to his senses to actually tell everybody in the ring what was going on, and to get that match, to get the match over with, so that Phoenix could become the champion. Now, I've paraphrased it sort of terribly, but Jon Moxley's idea behind that is to have a doctor behind the scene and a wrestler behind the scenes watching the match, but they don't know the creative, so they don't know what's going on.
Jax looks good, bro.
What now? What's going on?
Jax looks good.
I mean, she's definitely dropped some lbs.
Thick old fucking just.
And she looks caramel
Snickers bar.
She also looks
thick
like
murder machine is what she is.
Like she's maybe got some stamina, so that she's not just out of breath and dropping chicks on their heads. But that's neither here nor there.
Anyways, I'm sorry. I was
so
sidetracked by the thickness.
Waltz down with the thickness, people. Anyway, so John had come up with this sort of backstage wizardry for a doctor and a wrestler to watch matches, to be able to call out, oh, his bell's rung. We got to get out there. We got to stop this. Somebody's got to stop this match because this man is not of his right mind anymore. He's been dropped on his head, and his head is going. Now, for Jon Moxley, that makes sense to say that because he's a guy who gets regularly dropped on his head by chooches who can't wrestle, because he works in a company with chooches who can't wrestle. But that being said, it should never get.
Bro, we just had a really good conversation about fucking top tier wrestling matches, and now you're just gonna just
shoot them out.
Look, here's the problem. Number one, the problem is that the AEW referees are fucking terrible. And that's problem number one, because all of those things that
What are you talking about? Mr. Ed's out there trying to get himself over.
Exactly. All of those referees out there should know when that happens. That's number one. They're the first line of defense. They've got the thing in their ear to the back.
Do they have thing in their ear kind of money?
I mean, Tony Khan's got thing in their ear. Like, that's not the expensive part of wrestling. Like, that's pretty cheap, all things considered. Like, I can get.
Hey man, Vince McMahon once got rid of the fucking water coolers in the office to save $1.
I mean, he's a chooch on a different level and for different reasons. But like, let's get back to this. So one, their referees are fucking terrible. Like, it cannot be overstated that these referees they're not qualified to be referees. Like, that's a hard job, and every last one of them are bad at it. They think they're talent. They're not talent. They're officials, and they're really bad. They're really, really. Bryce Remsburg might be the worst referee in the history of professional wrestling.
Listen, I thought we talked about this already. Like,
we did, and he's still terrible.
Bryce Remsburg is not the new Joey Janela. I am not going to allow that to happen.
Okay. Well, I mean, all of them are bad, so, pick another one then, because they're all bad.
I already told you I thought Mr. Ed out there trying to get himself over.
I mean, she's terrible too. She's really fucking bad. They're all really bad. So number one, their referees are terrible. That's first and foremost. Number two, is that the wrestlers are, as we've alluded to earlier, they're all out for themselves. So they're running. They're not looking out for their opponent. They're trying to get themselves over. They're doing their best to get themselves over because that's their directive. Get yourself over. They're not looking out for the talent. So with Jon Moxley's bell rung, Ray Phoenix doesn't speak a word of English. So he doesn't know one way or the other whether Jon Moxley is on fucking Mars, or if he's drunk, or if he's just selling. He doesn't know. He has no idea. And neither does the referee, because they're just trying to get themselves over and do their own thing, and they can count to 3. Get out there.
There's Nikki Bella.
Oh, hey there. Yeah. Anyway, so Mox is sort of like is trying to be like, oh, we need this like third tier, because also like Tony Khan's not paying attention. That's the other thing too.
No, because he's fucking coked out of his gourd.
I could tell watching at my home on television that Jon Moxley was not right. He was not okay. He was knocked a bit stupid. That was just me. Maybe I've watched more wrestling than everybody in the back at AEW, but that's the other thing. There's supposed to be people on the monitors watching that shit already, including a doctor, and Tony Khan and whomever else. If that shit happens and Triple H is watching the monitor, he says something and it goes in the referee's ear. Hey, he don't look great. Maybe check him. Also, if you notice, in AEW, the refs don't check the wrestlers ever. In WWE, there's lots of checking. In AEW, that doesn't happen. The show must go on. So, yeah. Does Mox have a good idea? And I think that's really what the main point of all of this discussion is. Does Mox have a good idea? Yeah, for AEW he does, but there's also like 2 other sets of people that should catch that first, including the referee and the guy in the monitor, watching the monitor with the in-ears and in the referee's ear and in everybody else's ear, because they're watching the show live. And it's just not getting caught. And you just can't have a guy who's coked out of his fucking mind watching the monitor.
Excuse me, sir. Are you trying to imply that I'm back here not doing my job, not paying attention to the monitors? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I'm not backing. I don't have the safety of my performance, the safety of my talent, and first thing in forefront of my mind, huh? Every time, every day, huh? You don't think so? Listen, I don't know if you understand how hard it is to run 3 companies at the same time, right? Like I'm a pretty big deal in the soccer world, right? Like, and then like I'm executive vice president of the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, I don't. What do you want me to do? And then I got a Ring of Honor over here. I've got these 2 shows at AEW. None of them make sense. Have you watched Rampage? Have you ever seen Rampage? Huh? Have you ever seen Rampage? Don't tell me that I'm not paying attention to my talent. Okay. John Moxley is a wild man. Okay. Wild thing. I'm sorry.
That was I mean, you proved the point. Thank you. Absolutely. So that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Speaking of, what the fuck is all over R-Truth? Why does R-Truth have white dust all over his face?
Because he's eating pastries.
He's got powdered donuts. Those are strawberry shortcake Swiss cake rolls.
That's what Tony Khan looks like. That's what Tony
Khan
Khan looks like every Wednesday. But they ain't strawberry shortcakes. But wow, this could not have been more perfect. This could not have been a more perfect segment to come up right now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, could we, like, Jesus Christ?
I love that R-Truth is being so heavily featured today. This is the 3rd time we've seen him on our television.
R-Truth is watching.
I'm so glad he's back.
R-Truth is watching our show between segments right now.
I'm so glad he's back. Derek, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Hey, how was your poop?
You all right? You all right?
It was not satisfying.
It was noticeable because you came in and you sat down and you immediately just didn't participate. And I mean,
you did this. You went.
Yeah.
That lower lip was like.
It sucked.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I was getting watched by the entire family.
Hashtag fiber.
Yeah.
I got an eggnog downstairs. I'm gonna crack it open tomorrow. Oh,
good
man,
stuff.
Do we have anything more pressing that we would like to discuss? I think we talked about CM Punk. We talked about the implications of what this could mean for the business. I mean, we were trying to get a head start to have a live reaction, and WWE said, "Nope, we're gonna keep you to the end of the show, you fucks." Yep. And they did their job.
We don't have another hour and a half of shit to talk about.
No.
We did a good job though. We made it an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
We sure did.
I'm excited to see Zoe Stark probably give Nia Jax her first loss of her return, because I think they're pretty hot on Zoe.
They are definitely pretty hot on Zoe.
So I'm interested to see if Zoe can pull off the Z360 on Nia Jax. I'm gonna be real excited about it. This match isn't gonna go very long because Nia Jax has only got really like 5 minutes in her, but I think it's gonna be a good 5 minutes. And so far, it's been a great 30 seconds. Anyway,
the beginning was very terrible, very, very terrible.
So
it's fine. It just started. It's fine.
Hey,
no, like the legit.
I'll be right back.
What?
Anyway, so let's go this Zoe Stark versus Nia Jax thing here. Nia Jax gave a pretty bad slam there to Zoe Stark, and she is talking to the crowd, but she does not appear to be out of breath yet, so that's good.
Good for her. What a inspiration.
Hey, we're already a whole minute into this match, pal, and she's not out of breath, and she ran a little bit. There we go. Now Zoe's been bumping like crazy. She don't feel great. Now I got dumped
and
to the
Bianca
outside.
doing calisthenics. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Jump looked a little stupid, but it's all right. Everybody's okay. Everybody's good. We're all in good shape here.
Oh, you have picture in picture. See, I don't have.
No,
picture
I
in
don't.
picture.
All right, well, now we're in picture. Now we're in commercial. Okay. So yeah. What up, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, you know.
I don't want to talk about your poop. Let's not talk about it.
No.
There's the boy sleeping there now?
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, he's
y'all
back.
really
Good.
couldn't find nothing to conversate about?
Yeah, baby.
Jackson drank out of the toilet 2 times.
You're funny, baby.
He drank out of the toilet 2 times.
2 times.
Even if I shut the toilet bowl lid, the dog lifts up the lid with his
I mean,
big face.
have you seen his fucking head?
Yeah, I mean his head this big, man. The toilet,
right.
that toilet bowl lid doesn't stand a chance.
No, it doesn't.
No, but and to answer your question, we've clearly exhausted all of the topics. What is happening right now?
This is my house all the time.
There's clearly dog chaos.
Oh yeah. The giant one. You're a big sissy. You're a big sis. Toilet drinker.
Head is huge though. It's the size of his head. Good
Oh, he
Lord.
makes so much noise for no fucking reason at
Oh,
all.
He's like JD McDonough, just a giant head.
Jackson Fun Pop here.
Giant head. Match of the week.
Oh my God, what just happened?
You did that.
I thought you kicked Tom.
I thought you
kicked Tom.
I felt kicked. My match of the week. Sorry, fellas. I'm stealing this.
What happened was I tried to do this.
Oh.
What?
Oh, I get to talk now. Great. Okay. So my match of the week was actually the men's war game match because it was so good, guys. Guys, you watched that, right? It was the best match this week. And I get to go first, so I'm the one that gets to say, whoo, hoo, hoo. It was great. Oh, man. I loved when Rhea ran out, and we thought we were going to get a cash in.
Yo, how good was that? How perfect.
That was unbelievable. I was like, because I was like, when's Randy coming? Where's
Made
Randy?
perfect sense. Made sense.
Where's Randy? And then outruns Rhea, and I'm like, ah, ah, ah. And that happened. I went, ah. And then Randy came out and ruined everything for everybody, and everybody was like, I was like, ah, ah. I was hoping Judgment Day was going to take the win, but because it was really a babyface kind of night. Like all the babyfaces won all night. There was no like sour grapes.
There's no way that listen, I think the Judgment Day should have won too, but there was no way Cody was losing in his first War Games.
No, I get it. I understand. That's really why I thought the heels were going to win in the women's War Games because it really didn't mean
Charlotte,
much.
her first. Rick was in the first War Games match.
Yeah, okay. All right. But still. Anyway. The men's War Games match was just it was great. It was worth the price of admission, which is $5.99 a month for a plethora of content, including all of our wrestling pay-per-views.
$5.99. You pay for that?
For Peacock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't pay for Hulu and Disney Plus and stuff because I get that through my cell phone provider. So Peacock I have to pay for.
Oh,
which
okay.
is fine.
I just was asking.
It's
Anyways,
yeah,
go on.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I pay for that one. Thanks, Walt. But no, that was my match of the week because it's the match of the week. It was the build. It's the layup, right? It's the Randy was back.
Yeah, it was good.
Great stuff.
It was good. I loved.
Although,
like I said earlier.
I'll tell you what I was disappointed in. You know who didn't get an RKO? Jey Uso. And I wanted that. And I didn't get it.
Too.
Yeah, but that one for JD McDonough off the
listen, right before, and maybe that was coming until talent was told, hey, so CM Punk's back. The ink is drying on the contract right now. So just celebrate in the middle of the ring, hold your hands like a bunch of chooches, and then we're gonna pan out and fuck your whole night up. So
there you go.
Then you had Randy Orton with he did one of these.
Randy waved to waved to him.
Well, he was talking to Jimmy or Jay, whichever.
Jay.
Talking to Jay. So Jay. And he gave one of them like, fuck off.
Should have given him an RKO. I would have felt better.
In addition to Rhea's finger, everybody was very happy to see him.
A lot of work being accomplished there.
Yeah.
A lot of work being accomplished there. Hey man, listen, you get no arguments out of me. I put it over earlier. And I don't think that I didn't notice that you tried to gloss over it. Derek, what was your match of the week?
Well, I'm not going to sit here and argue with Tom because he's absolutely correct. That was mine coming in as well. And at this point, I'm ready to go poop for round 2. So I'm just going to go and leave it at that.
So
it was great.
So you generally, I try not to steal you guys' thunder, and I try to pick up a little bit.
It was the best match of the week, bud.
It was.
I just couldn't.
It was wonderfully done. Like I said earlier, I really enjoyed that that they were trying to eliminate weapons and make the cage in the War Games environment actually mean something. I really enjoyed that. It was a good fucking match, and I'm glad that it happened. But if I would have to give an honorable mention this week, and I will, I'm gonna go Roosh versus fucking Jay White in the Continental Classic tournament.
That's fair.
Fuck, man, what a good
Roosh.
match. It's a good professional wrestling match.
John Moxley.
It wasn't Gunther and Miz. That was a good.
Yes, it was a good match. It was a great fucking wrestling match.
I enjoyed that too. I'll point out that John Moxley had a better match this week than he did last week, because last week I said that John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy was the worst match I'd seen all year, and I still believe that. But John Moxley versus who did he wrestle? I want to say it was Swerve, but it wasn't Swerve because
I don't remember. Was it on Collision? Because I didn't see it.
No, it was on Dynamite. That was actually better. That was better. He did a better match this week because I didn't watch Collision. I watched. Dynamite.
He was on Dynamite. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, it doesn't matter.
It was a better match.
Tom's just giving Mox a backhanded compliment. That's all.
Backhanded compliment. That's all it is.
Yeah. So
Mox did better this week. Stop doing shitty, Mox. Do top guy shit. Stop doing this garbage bullshit.
We're back on this. All right, Derek, we got to go. Hey, man, if you're still hanging out with us, we appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Even consider subscribing. We would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, always good to get to do this, guys. Sad that our idea kind of backfired, and then we just ended up putting on a 2-hour show instead. But, we're ending at the same time.
We showed up.
So
they did. We showed up.
Derek's a poop deep. He's loading up a second one because he's just fucking over here raw dogging fucking SoCo eggnog, like it's like dripping off his fucking chin. Like
oh man. It's good.
All right. Listen.
This show is going to be sponsored by them.
Check us out. Check us out over on Twix and Instagram at @1_Fall WC. That's ONE. And as always, if you're fucking watching us anywhere at any time, thank you so very much. With all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. Derek's got a young punk is yet to show up.
You seriously